I was a weak level 1 student with no abilities who discovered a secret book that guided me to develop the vampire system. Despite the challenges and the monster within, I was determined to protect my loved ones and find my own way as a teen vampire. My name is Quinn, and this is my story.
When the next morning had arrived, the three boys headed down for breakfast as a group as usual. Gordon decided to split from Quinn and Peter and sat on his own on the higher power level tables. But even then, no one seemed to be sitting next to Vorden. "Do me a favor, will you?" Quinn asked. "Keep an eye on Vorden. If anything happens, let me know." "But if something happens, I won't be strong enough to help, and you can't exactly do anything either," Peter replied. "I'm not telling you to get involved. I don't think Vorden is expecting you to help him out either, but just let me know what you see." Finally, after finishing their breakfast, it was time for their combat classes. Quinn had chosen the Beast Weapons class after thinking long and hard. Standing at the back of the hall was a bald-headed man wearing leather armor and had a long katana blade by his side. But the katana blade hilt was jagged and rough, and the back of the blade the same. It looked like it had been forged from an animal that was not of this planet. When Layla had entered and spotted Quinn, she immediately came over to him. "This class is a lot more popular than I thought," Layla said. The room was filled with about 30 students inside. The other classes had around 50, but it was still more than they had expected. "Yeah, I wonder what weapon I should pick," Quinn said, staring at the wall. "Well, I already have mine," Layla said, pointing to her bow on her back. "Attention!" Everyone froze and turned to look at the old man. "My name is Leo, and I will be your teacher for today. Your first task will be to pick your weapon. You must think carefully. Your weapon is your lifeline." The students fanned out and started to look at weapons. Quinn looked at the wall and saw all sorts of things. Axes, short swords, spiked clubs, whips, scythes. There was so much to choose from. He needed something that suited him right now and his ability. Quinn then walked up to one of the random swords on the wall and used his inspect skill. Forge sword, tier basic beast weapon, strength +3, agility -2. The sword is incompatible with the skill blood swipe. As soon as Quinn realized that his inspect skill would tell him the stats of each weapon, he started to go around the room looking for the perfect one for him. All the weapons Quinn had inspected so far was at the basic tier level, the lowest level a weapon could be. After searching around the room for a while, Quinn came across a weapon that stood out from the rest. Black-horned gauntlets, basic tier beast weapon. This weapon is compatible with the skill blood swipe. When used with the gauntlets, blood swipe will have an increase of 5% in power. The gauntlets were black in color and had little tiny horns going up the forearm. "What a strange choice, young boy," Leo said. "It's not many people's first choice." "Do you mind if I try it?" Quinn asked. "Go ahead," Leo said as he left to check up on other students selecting weapons. Basic horn gauntlets equipped. Strength 12. Agility 12. Stamina 11. Defense 2. Now when Quinn checked out his status screen, he had a smaller number next to his stats, which would indicate the equipment level. He felt 3 times stronger compared to before he had discovered the system. Once everyone had finished picking out their weapon, Leo called everyone to gather around the center ring. "Now, I won't claim to be any expert in every weapon," said Leo, "but what I am an expert in is fighting with weapons alone. For your first lesson, I want to see what you've got. We will have a sparring match, 2 people at a time." Erin was the first to put her hand up. She held a single silver longsword that shined bright. It wasn't one of the weapons that Quinn had seen on the wall, so he could only assume it had been one she already owned. At first, a lot of the students were hesitant of going up against Erin. "Oh, I also forgot to add, abilities will be banned during today's sparring sessions," Leo added. After saying those words, students had raised their hands like a rocket. They all wanted to get the chance to beat the famous Ice Queen. In the end, a large man was selected from the crowd who wielded a 2-handed axe. "I think you chose the wrong club. Your ice abilities will be useless here," the man said. Erin didn't reply, though, and simply took her stance. The man charged in, wielding his large axe above his head. When he swung it down, Erin spun her body to the side, avoiding the blow, and at the same time slashed at the back of the man's legs, causing him to stumble. She then placed her blade towards the man's neck, inches away from his throat. "I give up," the man said. Everything had happened in an instant, and the room was suddenly silenced. 2 men seemed to appear out of thin air, wearing a black military uniform. They then grabbed the student by both arms and escorted him to the school doctor to get healed up. The group continued to watch a few fights. The next fight that had caught Leo's attention was the fight with Layla. He had trapped her opponent multiple times, but a few arrows in the boy's legs stopped him dead in his tracks before Leo had decided to call the match himself. The next pair, Quinn Talon and Brandon Richardson, to the arena. As Quinn walked up to the stage, he noticed that Brandon held a large spear in hand, which had great reach. The end was sharp, with a single curved blade at the end. Opponent power level 3. Bonus EXP will be rewarded. Begin, Leo shouted. Brandon immediately charged in with his spear, while Quinn stood there and took a fighting stance with both of his hands held out in front of him. When Brandon was within striking distance, he thrust his spear forward. It was fast and impressive to the people watching outside. But to Quinn, who had 12 points in agility, it was easy for him to dodge. "What the hell?" Brandon said as he tried pulling the spear back. "Let go!" While holding the spear with one hand, Quinn opened up his other hand and swung out his fist like a claw as hard as he could at the spear. Then, a few moments later, the spear had been sliced in half. My weapon, it's faulty," Brandon complained, but Leo did nothing to step in. Quinn rushed forward, and before Brandon could do anything, Quinn punched him hard in the stomach. Brandon's feet lifted off the ground, and it looked like his body was about to fly away. Inspect. Brandon Richardson, ability elemental, HP 5 of 15, blood type O positive. Quinn grabbed him and pulled him back down, and at the same time kneed him in the face, causing Brandon's nose to bleed and his head to be sent backwards. And finally, Brandon collapsed, lying there on the ground. "Winner, Quinn Talon," Leo said. "Opponent has been defeated. 50 EXP rewarded. First time higher power level bonus 50 EXP rewarded. 220 of 200 EXP. Congratulations, you are now level 3. 20 of 400 EXP. 1 attribute point awarded. New skill, Blood Bank, unlocked." With the messages, there was also a new skill that had been unlocked. Before Quinn could leave the arena, a couple of boys shouted from the crowd. "That's not fair," a boy said. "Brandon obviously was using a faulty weapon." "Settle down, everyone. I can guarantee that no abilities were used," Leo said. However, what Leo didn't reveal was that from the very beginning, when Quinn had stepped into the room, he could see his aura was slightly different from everyone else's. As Quinn was heading back to his dorm room, he decided to first put his stat point into something. HP 20 of 20, Strength 6, Agility 6, Stamina 6. All stats are currently halved due to being hit by the direct sunlight. Quinn decided to stick with his plan and add the stat point to Agility. As long as he could hit his opponents without being hit back, he couldn't see himself losing, and worst case, if he couldn't hurt his opponent, he could always run away. Agility 13. The next thing Quinn wanted to check out was the new skill he had obtained from leveling up. Skill, Blood Bank level 1. The skill Blood Bank will allow you to store up to 100 liters of blood in your reserve. The Blood Bank will automatically be used to heal the user if HP drops below 5. Quinn then took out the test tube of Layla's blood and used his Inspect skill. Skill Blood Bank 10 of 100. Your hunger grows. Daily quest complete 5 EXP has been rewarded. 25 of 400 EXP. Your hunger grows. Your HP will now drop by -1 HP every hour until human blood has been consumed. Skill Blood Bank. 10 milliliters of blood will be consumed. Would you like to proceed? Yes. After selecting the yes option, a sweet fragrance entered his mouth. The hole he could feel in his stomach had disappeared, and once again he was satisfied and back to normal. For the next week, combat class was a normal requirement for students. Today's lessons will be sparring once again, but this time you will pick your own opponents. Don't worry, Quinn, I'll let you in the first one, she said with a wink. I'm sorry about this, young lady, but I'm going to have to ask you to sit out of this one, Leo said. Show me what you got, boy, and don't hold back. Look at him. He cheats in my match, and now he's getting special treatment, Brandon complained. Before the sparring match started, Quinn decided to use his Inspect skill, but for the first time ever, not a single bit of information had come up. A strong opponent has appeared. Defeat the opponent for an instant level-up reward. What's wrong? Leo asked. Oh, nothing, sorry, Quinn said as he got into a fighting stance. All right, students, the minute starts now, Leo shouted. I can't believe I'm actually having fun against a student, Leo said, laughing. Now try this, Leo shouted. The attack from Leo's katana blade came from underneath. Before Quinn knew it, the blade was right underneath his chin. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, looks like our time is up, Leo said. About level 14 or 13, maybe. That's pretty good for a first-year student. Quinn was in admiration for the weapons teacher. Please, would you be able to teach me how to fight? Quinn asked as he bowed down. Unfortunately, the weapon you have chosen I do not specialize in myself. There is one thing I can suggest to you. There's a popular VR fighting game that the military students from all the other schools play. The first thing you will need to do is get experience. Thank you so much, Quinn said as he bowed down again. Oh, and before I forget, it's been a while since I have had fun like that. As a prize, feel free to keep the gauntlets, Leo said as he walked off back to the center of the weapons hall. Do you mind if us two have a round? Brandon asked. Please, I would like to be your next opponent, Faye asked as he drew out his two short swords. I don't see why not, Quinn said. And please begin, Leo shouted. Meanwhile, in Layla and Brandon's match, Brandon didn't seem to be doing much at all. 10 of 20 HP. You pass, Quinn groaned. So you want to play games then? Quinn said. Then let's play some games. Enough! Stop now! Leo said as he pointed his blade towards Quinn. 2 wrongs do not make a right. Take him to the doctor's office and make sure he gets treated, Leo said. After checking the man had disappeared, Quinn had decided to head to the bathroom rather than to the doctor's office, was because he could already feel his body was healing up. 12 of 20 HP. Your hunger grows. Your hunger grows. 15 of 20 HP. You will no longer heal. Your HP will continue to decrease by -1 HP until human blood has been consumed. Why did I get kicked out as well? You were the only one who used an ability, Faye complained. Hey, you were fine with the plan when I told you about it earlier. Why are you getting so annoyed about it now? Brandon said. You were the one who dragged me into it all because you lost to a level 1. Embarrassing, Faye chuckled. Do I need to remind you that I'm a higher level than you, Faye? Or do we have to fight so you can learn your place? What the? Is that Quinn's clothes? Peter said as he lifted them off the ground. They're covered in blood. Did he get hurt during training? What happened to him? Vorden thought. Did the second years target him too, or did something happen in training? I told you we should have kept an eye on him. We should have killed those second years when we had the chance. Oh, is Quinn here? Layla said. Tell me what happened to Quinn now. What the hell's wrong with you? Layla managed to groan out. Hey, Vorden, I think you're hurting her, Peter said quietly. The little one didn't like you, and the other one told me not to get involved, but in the end, I'm always the one that has to deal with things, Vorden said. Hey, seriously, Vorden, you're going too far, Peter shouted. Shut up, Vorden shouted as he turned to look at Peter. My name is not Vorden either. Ah, Vorden cried as he flinched and let go of Layla. Don't you dare move, you psycho, said Layla. I swear if you do, I will not hesitate to shove this arrow right in your head. I don't even know why Quinn asked me to look out for you. If he asked me, he's better off without someone like you. Wait, Quinn really said that? Vorden said in a gentle tone. Look, I'm sorry about what just happened, but I just want to know what happened to Quinn. As Vorden said these words, his eyebrows were slightly twitching. His personality had taken a complete 180 turn, and Layla didn't know what to make of it. Hey, are you all right, man? You kind of acting a little strange there, Peter asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Vorden said. Well, I don't like her. I agree. We should get rid of her. Vorden, are you okay? Peter asked again. You've been standing there looking at the floor for a while now. What the? Faye was too slow to react, and all he could do was lift his hand, but the blow was extremely powerful. When the red lines touched his skin, it immediately caused blood to be drawn. 11 of 20 HP. 20 of 20 HP. Blood bank has been filled 100 milliliters. A positive blood type has been consumed. +1 strength stat. 50 EXP has been awarded. You monster! Get off of him! Luke shouted.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.